Ken Flo, there are obviously more unknowns and variables, I would think, on the Jon Jones side here. He's minus 155, Ciryl Gane plus 135. First fight for Bones since he defeated Dominic Reyes. That was 3 years ago, UFC 247. For context, that was a few weeks before COVID-19 took over, at least here in the United States. And at that time, Ciryl Gane was 3-0 in the UFC. Since Jones has been idle, Gane has been on a tear. He's fought 6 times, won 5 of those against high-level heavyweights, Kenny. Jairzinho Rozenstruik, Alexander Volkov, Derek Lewis, Tai Tuivasa, only guy to get him, obviously Francis Ngannou. I'm fascinated to see which side you guys are going to fall. Kenny, let's start with you. Jones the favorite, Gane the underdog. Who's your pick in the main event?
Yeah, listen, I think Ciryl Gane is one of the more technical heavyweights that we've had in a very, very long time. His footwork, his intelligence, his ability to move around and lure you into traps. You don't see it all the time in heavyweight, at the heavyweight division in mixed martial arts. So he is a special talent, and that should be acknowledged. However, he's going against a guy in Jon Jones who has had a long time to put on this weight. If you told me that he had 3 months, 6 months, maybe a year to go from 205 to heavyweight, I would be scratching my head a little bit and go, well, let's see what Jon Jones is going to show up. He's had a long time to put on that muscle, which means he's had a long time to move around at that weight. And he's had a long time to get stronger and stronger and stronger. That's not good. And also Jon Jones, when he's hungry, when he's pissed, that's when we see him at his best. When he has new challenges, when he has great challenges, that's when we see him at his best. Am I supposed to believe that Gane is going to stop takedowns against Jon Jones, a guy who won the takedown battle against Daniel Cormier, and at times, DC, I love you, made it look easy? Like, kind of like just, that was just scary. And say what you want about Jon Jones outside of the cage, this and that. When he's at his best, he really does look like he's the best mixed martial artist we've ever seen. And I think we're going to see that again. I think he has the striking skills, the length to not be so bothered by someone like Ciryl Gane. But as Ray alluded to, if he gets in that clinch and puts Gane on his back, it's not going to look close. Okay. Ciryl Gane is not going to be able to get back to his feet. He's not going to be able to submit Jon Jones. You know, do we remember when Vitor Belfort locked up one of the tightest arm bars and looked like he snapped Jon Jones's arm, and Jon Jones shook him off like he was a little kid, like, get off of me, kid. And he just just shook him off like it was nothing. This is at heavyweight. You know, Ciryl Gane isn't that dude. He's not a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, doesn't really want to be there. And also, you know, as smart as Ciryl Gane can be, you also have to wonder about some of the decisions he made against Francis Ngannou, and even in that fight against Tai Tuivasa. There was a little bit of, octagon immaturity, and that comes with time. And he's going against a guy in Jon Jones who has been in so many 5-round fights. And dealing with that kind of pressure, and Jon Jones getting up for something like that. I see this happening. I see Jon Jones being back in the spotlight, relishing it, and performing like I think we all know he can. I like Jon Jones here, and at minus 155, come on.
Brian Petrie, Jon Jones minus 155, Ciryl Gane plus 135. I'm trying not to read too much into Ciryl Gane's comments this week. We're obviously going to sit down with him here in a few days, but he's talking to me like a prize fighter who got into this to make money and not like a martial artist. And say what you want about Jon Jones, but he's a mixed martial artist with an insatiable appetite for martial arts knowledge. And I'm not sure we can say that about Ciryl Gane. All of that being said, there's no denying Gane's heavyweight credentials. He's more experienced in the weight class. Brian Petrie, we need a main event prediction, and then we'll let you get on your way.
I think we got the old Bones back. He's tweeting late night about Ciryl Gane's performances. This is a guy who's hyper focused, ready for war. And I know you listen to fighters and they go, oh, I wasn't, because he's coming off 2 lackluster performances over Dominic Reyes, who hasn't won a fight, and then Thiago Santos is no longer in the UFC. But I believe it. He said he had no fear. He was just kind of going through the motions. I think this is a reset on his career. Let's go up and fight the big boys. The original plan was let's go up and get Francis. Frank's no longer there, so now we get the next best thing is Ciryl Gane. And I think on the feet, they're similar. They like the front kick. They like to touch each other's kicks a little bit. I think Gane might have a little bit better with the boxing, but, I mean, it comes down to the wrestling. I remember Jon Jones going against Brandon Vera, throwing an elbow fight over on top. He finished DC on the ground with some brutal ground and pound. Gustafsson rematch, brutal ground and pound. If he gets this fight on the ground, his long arms come into play. He's on top. Those elbows are like punches. He's heavy hips, pressure. He's got good chokes. And he's even going to be stronger now that he looks, what we've seen, at least a little bit, he appears to be stronger. And I feel like Gane is kind of going through this lackadaisical, hey, I'm in the main event fighting for the time, which is great. That's his demeanor. But I also feel like you got a killer in there, the number one pound for pound fighter who hasn't fought in a little bit and wants his dub. So I got Jon Jones by finish here. And just to kind of flex a little bit, I got him at plus 120 too. Because he opened at plus 160. I thought that was insane. I nabbed him at plus 120. So minus 165, minus 155, whatever he's currently sitting at right now. That's nice. A gorgeous number. I think Jon Jones, I know the layoff's a little bit, whatever, but I think the guy's dialed in. I think he goes in here and I think he gets it to the ground and it's over.